Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Dictate the Day. I'm Dick. Let's take this day. Let's go. Okay, that's enough. Sorry. I'm working with different ways to do the intro. And you know I don't edit, so here we go. So it's Monday. It's the 13th. In the wonderful year of 2025, it is October. Let's go. Yeah. It's been a kind of a crazy weekend. Stuff is, man, I just don't know where we're headed. That's all I'm saying. Remember, everything that I talk about today, entertainment. You know what I mean? I'm trying to trigger your synapses to maybe do a little research. And hopefully, if you know something I don't know, put it in the comments. That would be amazing. Subscribe, like, share. It only helps me. Speaking of which, I now am one subscriber away from 150 subscribers. Yeah, I love it. It's amazing. I was so excited to sit down and do this today. It's just, I don't know. I kind of have an addictive personality. Okay, I have a real addictive personality. You saw the nicotine and the caffeine that I just took in. But I am, I'm really loving this. It's really, I like it. That's all. All right, enough from me. Let's get this show underway. Like I said, it's all entertainment. I'm going to be 100% honest. Some of these first clips that I have, they're a little, I don't want to say triggering, that word, but thought-invoking for sure. All right, so this first one is this gentleman. Man, I cannot remember his name. He's like a CIA guy that got imprisoned for sharing stuff that was being done to persuade people to talk. I don't even know if I can say that word. Starts with a T, ends with an orchard. Yeah. But check this out. This gentleman's sharing some information about DARPA that most of us don't even know. Like, I can't remember how old I was when I found out what DARPA was. And then every time I find something new, I'm like, what? Check this out. Crazy.
I've never heard of. It's the biggest collection of geniuses anywhere in government. These are the guys that are creating not the next generation of technology, but 3 generations from now. If there are flying saucers and they're not little green men from outer space, DARPA made them. Seriously. This always struck me as very funny. DARPA's work is so classified that one DARPA scientist sitting next to another DARPA scientist has no idea what the other guy's working on. It's too highly classified. I mean, even at the CIA, we weren't cleared.
Not even at your position?
I had to get a Q clearance once because I had to go to the Department of Energy to talk about a nuclear issue. Nobody liked the fact that I had the clearance, and I ended up having the clearance just for one day, and then they revoked it. But that's how DARPA is too. This is another thing that always struck me as funny. There's a DARPA website, and they have pictures of scientists like, working together all in bliss. These are just generic pictures of random people you pull off the internet. These aren't DARPA people that are in the pictures. You can't show the DARPA people. They're too highly cleared. DARPA is something most Americans have never heard of.
Remember, entertainment only. I'm pretty sure DARPA was the one responsible for the internet, among other things that we probably don't even know. So yeah, like I said, this one was kind of, but the next couple clips, they're basically dealing with the world that we live in right now, and man, here we go.
It's the biggest collection.
If I were the deep state, I'd be smiling right now. Because the left and the right would be clawing at each other, too busy fighting to ever look up. If my goal were mass surveillance, I wouldn't force it. I'd let chaos and social unrest demand it. I'd let fear sell the programs for me. Palantir for ICE, for DHS, all of it for your safety. If my goal were central bank control, I'd pass something brilliant sounding, call it the Genius Act. I'd let the banks regulate the stablecoin market till every digital dollar reported back to me. If my goal were media manipulation, I'd censor openly. I'd build algorithms instead. Silent filters decide every word you read, every image you see, every idea you're allowed to imagine. And I'd take oversight of your apps your children love, TikTok, Instagram, all of them, and call it protection. If my goal were population control, I'd empower the villains, Ellison, Gates, Blair, all pushing AI-driven mRNA, digital IDs, vaccine passports. I'd sell it as progress, but it would be obedience. If my goal were transhumanism, I wouldn't preach it, I'd implant it, Neuralink, straight in your brain, one chip at a time. If my goal were you will own nothing and be happy, I'd let home ownership die quietly. I'd flood the market with printed dollars until you had no expendable income. I'd make sure the supply went up when ownership went down. You'd rent from me forever and call it normal. If my goal were to bury the truth, I'd make it all disappear. Epstein list gone, Diddy protected, rules for you but never for them. If I were the deep state, I'd whisper, everything is going exactly according to plan. If I were the deep state, I'd be...
You know, I talked a little bit in the intro about all the crazy stuff that's happening. The gold, the Genius Act I found out yesterday. We're going to get into that in the next clip. It sounds cool. The Genius Act, like what, we're going to prop up geniuses? I had no idea, but that is not what it is. Watch this.
You got to have a way to control access to data and services. And this is why the Genius Act, which Trump just passed, is important, because the Genius Act allows for stable coins to be created by any corporation or entity. So let's say you live in an HOA and, they have fees. Let's say your trash can is overfilled. You might be charged $50. But let's say this HOA wants to create an automated system. They already have cameras everywhere. They already have surveillance everywhere. All they need now is an automated way to do that. If they say the only way you can live in this community is if you buy our HOA stablecoin and you download a HOA app, which now you have to buy using your money from your bank, and then the AI, anytime it sees a violation, will automatically deduct your HOA account. Now, you can't use those HOA stablecoins to Walmart or anywhere else. It's only for the HOA. So it's a geo-locked system.
So everything's going to do it. Walmart will have a geo-locked system. Everybody's
going
to have
that. The states
that.
will. There's a state stablecoin. And you want to go to Washington, but you live in Texas. You only have Texas stablecoins. You can't use that in Washington. That's geo-locking control. Let's say you didn't pay your traffic tickets. They can use your digital ID and put a violation, which then there's a global system like Palantir to say this person has a violation. Denial by default, all of your access has been restricted. So now, even though you go to Washington, you can't buy Washington stablecoins. There's no US dollar. It's stablecoins by state. You got to have a way to control access.
Okay. I've heard of GeoLock and I was like, what is happening? Remember, this is all just entertainment, and all the thoughts that I share are solely mine, and do your own research and all of that. I don't want to say worried. Look, man, we got 3i Atlas. The government's on shutdown. All these other distractions, I feel like, are pulling us away from what we really need to be doing. As I got to be careful. We could make a change if we banded together, my brothers and sisters. Here we go.
Dude, I'm not buying alcohol and shit. I'm buying food to eat.
I got to stop it for a minute. If you don't know who this gentleman is, this is Luke Thomas. He's a MMA aficionado, mixed martial arts guy. But he covers a bunch of other stuff as of late. But pretty smart dude. Well-researched, well-read, all that kind of stuff. And I never thought I'd be sharing a clip of his, in this vein of thought. This is a pretty powerful 42 seconds. I'm going to start it over. Watch this.
Dude, I'm not buying alcohol and shit. I'm buying food to eat. How are people affording this? And our electricity bills are going up because AI slop and data centers are just hoovering up natural resources and then forcing, like, how the fuck is this sustainable? To say nothing of the fact that health insurance, one way or the other, is just going to keep going up unless they just utterly reform the system. Like, I don't understand. Like, I do okay financially. My wife does okay financially. We have one kid. I don't have a mortgage, and I don't have a car payment. Like, we are good. And I look at these bills and I'm like, dude, how are people who are not as lucky as us, how are they affording shit? We are headed for a terrible situation. Dude, I'm not buying alcohol and shit. I'm buying food to eat. How are people affording this?
Yeah. Insurance keeps going up, crazy expensive, and then you have to get them to really pay for stuff. And the fact that there's different prices if you have insurance or if you're a self-pay, you could do a little research on that. It is crazy. I watched a woman call because she needed an MRI. She's sitting in her car. I saw this on YouTube or TikTok or something. And she forgets to tell the first place she calls because she's like price comparison shopping. She's like, yeah, I need an MRI or a CAT scan or something. And they quote her the price. And I want to say it's like close to $1,000, maybe over just a little bit, something like that. $1,100, $1,200. Then she calls the next place and she's like, oh, I have insurance. I forgot to say that on the first one. So I'm going to call the next one, let them know I have insurance. It was $7,000 with her insurance. And she was like, okay, well, what if, she was like, I just called another place and I told them I didn't tell them I had insurance. So they quoted me a price. Can I do this now and just not use my insurance? No. Once they know you have insurance, you can't self-pay. What? That just doesn't sound legal. Okay, here we go. My bad. I'm rambling.
You want a clear sign society is collapsing?
My wife and I have been living in our car for 50 days now.
Hey, I'm homeless. I live in my car.
I don't pay any rent. I live in my car.
I live in my 2006 Honda Accord.
Single minimum wage workers are now living in cars, tents, and mobile homes. Today, in the so-called wealthy Western world, people aren't buying homes. They're not even renting. They're sleeping in their cars. They're living in their vans and their tents pitched behind department stores. All because of the price of simply existing. And these aren't the jobless or the lazy. Many of them work full time.
In a camper van in central London while working full time.
Both had work today, so we got up and started our morning routine.
They're doing everything right by society standards, but still can't afford a roof. Because when rent takes up 60 to 80% of your paycheck and when groceries and fuel prices rise beyond control, you're forced to move to the only affordable options you have, like a car, a van, or a tent. In Los Angeles, whole streets are lined with RVs. In Australia, families live in vans by the beach because rent is impossible there. In the UK, van dwellers are the new normal, hiding from council fines and moving around. It's just something they have to do. And in cities everywhere, there's a sort of silent migration. People are trading bedrooms for back seats. The problem here is they told us that if we worked hard enough, we'd own a home. That was the dream, wasn't it? The foundation of a good life. But somewhere along the line, the dream was sold to the highest bidder. The system that promised stability failed us all. Investors buy 10 homes while entire generations can't afford one. Leaders talk about housing affordability like it's some mystery, but it's not. We built economies on debt, greed, and profit, and now people are paying for it with their dignity. Home ownership used to be the dream. Now, just having a home, any home, is becoming a privilege. What we thought was the land of opportunity in the West is a castle made of sand, and the tide is coming in. You want a clear sign.
The tide is coming in for real, though. I was watching a thing, or maybe I read it. I don't know. Maybe it was on Reddit. And it was talking about the hourly wage. Like, for it to be comparable to how expensive it is to live today, it has to be like $66 an hour. That's what the minimum wage. It's so crazy. I have been on a search to find an affordable vehicle lately, and I'm not looking for anything shishi, just something reliable, something, Toyota-ish, little four-door sedan. And if you know anything about the car market, I spend probably an hour and a half worth of my time a day tracking car market trends and listening to YouTubers and TikTokers and just reading things. This huge bubble is about to pop. They're comparing it to the 2008 house crash is going to happen with the vehicle. And I'm just repeating what I've heard. So fact check me, please. Entertainment once again. But yeah, we are right on the precipice of something crazy. There was a gentleman, I can't remember his name. He just wrote a book about the 1939 stock market crash, and then the Depression followed, and all the signs that, happened pre-Depression are, especially in the stock market, interest rates, all that stuff, are happening now. So it's kind of mirroring that time in the past. Rome is falling. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry for the vibe today on these, but my mantra is share your knowledge and spread your love. I love you guys, but we need to know this. And we need to do something. Here we go.
Can you think of any reason that China would target your little community?
That's the exact question I had for the FBI when they visited me on that first day, and I still can't answer that question. No, I can't think of one reason.
The FBI told Nick Lawler that China has hacked into the computers of vital American utilities, even his, in tiny Littleton, Massachusetts.
If they're willing to go after that small provider that doesn't have a national security connection, that means every target is on the list.
Can you think?
If you know anything about like organized attacks or anything like that, there's like a recon, there's like a probe, you go in for intel, and then you do tests on, it's like a practice run is what I'm thinking. I recently did a clip in one of my previous videos, not too long ago, maybe a couple weeks, and it was talking about the equipment used in our electrical grid. Sorry. Most of it is manufactured by China. Because, we outsourced all this craziness, manufacturer stuff. Bad idea. But yeah, so that means they can have things already in there that whenever they feel like, the switch of darkness. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's keep it rolling.
This younger generation aren't apparently working themselves to death.
Some of them have figured out that the country's a scam. And here's the good news. They're not wrong. And when you figured out the country's a scam, you can approach it the way a con artist or a scammer would approach it, which is what a lot of them do. They invent mental health ailments they don't have. They take days off on end. They terrify their superiors into respecting their mediocre, shoddy quality of work. This is something that Gen Z has latched onto. This is something that I fully support. This is their way of rising through the ranks. They're taking advantage of people that they work with, making them tolerate less and less work and work of a lower and lower quality because they've realized that a lot of this is bullshit. So they're like, why shouldn't I get in on it?
This younger generation.
That feels like I'm showing this clip. I'm not picking on the Gen Z at all, okay? Or any of the youth. Look, I spent multiple decades as a bartender in the restaurant industry, management, you name it, I did it. And in that environment, there is tons of young people usually going to school because they need a part-time job, and it's usually cash on hand that day and whatnot. So it's conducive for scheduling if you seek higher education and whatnot. Man, I would say in the last decade or so, I noticed this weird drop off of I just don't give a flippin' you know what I mean? And I was resentful at first because I pride myself on being disciplined and a hard worker and all that kind of stuff. But for what? Like, I was in those situations, because you're working for tips. I'm showing the guest I'm working hard for you. But yeah, it's like what's going on in our world today. Like I mentioned, the minimum wage, all that stuff. I kind of get this. I have a better understanding now of why the worth ethic has kind of dropped off, because it's very scamish. Entertainment. Okay, let's keep going.
Fucking hell, guys, we've only a few months left in 2025. Let's have a look at what Baba Vanga predicted for 2026. While some are referring to tarot cards and palm readers for revelations regarding next year, others are turning to Baba Vanga for insights into what's to come. She has predicted various things in the past, including potentially 9/11 and other various things. The Bulgarian prophet who spent her life doling out terrifyingly accurate predictions generally. Now, one of the craziest predictions for 2026, and specifically for November next year, 2026, which is interesting because we've been expecting the 3I Atlas comet to come past around November, and a lot of people are saying this could potentially cause maybe an aliens to turn up potentially. But Baba Vanga actually predicted that humanity would be contacted by extraterrestrial life in 2026. Now, she says around November, she seems to say, and some people have worked out from her predictions, she seems to suggest potentially November 2026 aliens are going to arrive. But that is a little bit, we don't know. But are they going to come before then? Another big prediction for 2026 will see international political disputes escalate to whole new levels, she says. Oh God. More specifically, whilst conjuring her prophecies on this matter, she is said to have leaned towards a rhetoric of World War III. So she actually is saying that World War III starts in 2026 as well. So we're not far away from that either. Fuck's sake. Fucking hell, guys, we've only a few...
Okay. You know, I feel like I don't need to say it, but I will. Entertainment. Baba Vangita, or however you say that name, Baba Vanga. Pretty famous. She's up there with Nostradamus and their predictions. You know, a good percentage of them have been correct. I don't put 100% of any of my belief system in this. I think it is interesting, though. I like to give every piece of information a chance and see if I can, you know, cherry pick possible signs or information that would, you know, behoove me to know. Just interesting. That's why I put it up. But yeah, if you do any research on these historic psychics or remote viewers or whatever, really interesting. It's worth a little research. I'll just throw that out there. Okay, let's go.
The scurvy of the 21st century is the lack of sunlight. Everything is inside. We avoid the outside. We avoid discomfort. We avoid high temperatures. We avoid low temperatures. We used to go out and play sports. We now are playing virtual sports on pads. We have windows that are specifically designed, especially here in Southern California, to eliminate infrared lights. Because why? Infrared lights comes in and it heats up. One of the interesting things, we didn't mention this about infrared light, is the way that we interact with infrared light. You can tell this on your own. You go outside and close your eyes. You can tell which side of your body the sun is on. And the reason is because that infrared light not only can penetrate through your body, it's also penetrating through clothes very easily. And you can feel that heat that you're feeling is the infrared light going through the clothes, going through the skin, and interacting with your heat receptors that are well below the surface. The scurvy of the 21st century is the lack of sunlight.
I'm one of those people that are like vitamin D deficient. Even though I have this super fair skin, I don't know what's up. But even as a kid, I was given instruction by my doctor, because I have a weird skin condition too, Like if I wear too much clothing or the wrong kind of material or whatever, I get like this rash and whatnot. I'm dealing with it right now because I was actually trying to see if I could wear like one of my tank tops to do this, and I started feeling so uncomfortable and itchy wherever it touches me. But I make a point every single day. I mean, you can verify this with my family members. Like I said, I kind of have an addictive personality, but I'm just trying to find good addictions. So that's like my health and fitness and all that kind of stuff. Every single day, go outside. I mean, I try to do it for more than an hour. And I do that without my shirt, and I go for long walks and try to soak in, Mother Nature, the sun, all those things. And I notice a significant difference if for some reason, like I'm sick or I'm injured or whatever, if I don't do it. And I find that if I just do it anyway, if I'm not feeling a hundo, it pays off dividends. I encourage everyone, anyone, get outside, move around. Get outside. Every morning, I do grounding as well. I think it's a really awesome way to like start the day. I make sure that I try to do it around 9:30 in the morning. It's just how the time works out for me. Barefoot on my front lawn, getting some sunlight, and I kind of meditate on what it is I want to accomplish for the day. Just trying to better myself. I suggest that. I really do. And it doesn't have to be a long periods of time. Just experiment with a few minutes. The channels dictate the day, y'all. All right? Trying to keep it positive, give good information, and, trying to find my tribe of folks. Let's go. Let's Osh, as Spanian once said. He says it all the time. If you don't know who Spanian is, check it out. I've talked about it before. Let's go. I'm talking too much.
Well, I guess the fun of the silver potato alien.
I'm a little disappointed on this one. You see what it says. Ken Panama, space potato alien debunked. But I'm going to agree with consume propaganda in coffee. That's the name of this channel right now that we're, reacting to. It was awesome. And I do appreciate it. With all the craziness that's going on, the real craziness that's going on, this was kind of a cool little, I don't know. I appreciate the effort for sure, because it was pretty good. Okay, here we go.
It's done. Ken Panama admitted that it was just hot glue. He's been posting videos the last couple days of them showing how they built it, showing how the movement works, showing that safe with holes drilled in the back of the string so they could pull it for movement. And as a fan of old monster movies and practical effects, I gotta say I appreciated the time he put into this. Mm-hmm. He had so many people watching his videos. So I guess it's all over now. No more silver potato alien fun. He did admit in his videos, if you translate it at the bottom, that it's not a potato that he spray painted, it's just a rock that he spray painted. I was entranced from day one, so I fell for it. Even if I knew it was fake from the beginning, I still enjoyed it.
Me too.
Just like a bunch of us were guilty falling for that Russian homunculus video. You know that video where that guy put some of, let's say, himself inside of that egg to see what would happen, and we followed it for the whole time. I miss the days of old YouTube, and I guess I'll miss this one too. But as the world's been burning, I guess this took our mind off of some stuff for a little bit. Don't stop paying attention to what's going on in the world, but take your mind off of it sometimes.
Yes.
So what do y'all want to talk about now? Maybe those Miami space aliens? Because we know that it didn't take that many cops for fireworks and kids fighting.
I've said this before, but I think about that probably once or twice a week. Are we ever going to get any closure on what was going on with the Miami, whatever, that open mall that had a sea of police cars, and they said it was from kids getting crazy with sticks? No. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just you could Google or search engine Miami aliens at the mall. Interdimensional, they were like holograms. I don't know. That's why it still intrigues me. Okay, here we go. Let's roll on. Earthquakes freak me out. I'm super interested though. This was the Philippines. This was just 3 days ago, so it was over the weekend. Magnitude 7.4 earthquake hits the Philippines. I'm going to show you the scene of this street with people on it and watch what happens. And then the very next clip is I'm going to show you what happens with the animals before stuff like this happens. So if you happen to notice animals performing in this way with these actions, seek shelter. Although with earthquakes, from what I understand, this is just my information, do your own research. You don't want to be inside of stuff if everything is shaking. You kind of want to get out in the open and, you know, hold on to the earth, so to speak. Watch you lay. Bro. There's so many people. It's so jam-packed. Yeah, that's kind of what you want to do, because it's hard to stand. Okay, check this next clip out. This is the birds. Look, thousands of birds took to the sky. I think I gotta turn this music down. Thousands of birds took to the sky after the magnitude 6.8 earthquake struck Agusan del Sur, Philippines on Friday night. Look at that. Crazy. Okay. All right, this one is rather interesting. I kind of have to set it up because they're not, it just starts right in the middle. This is concerning the moon landing, and it's some of the environmental constraints that would exist if you actually got to the moon. And that's besides the fact that how long it takes there and the radiation and the Van Allen belt and all these things. And I just did a clip. We're supposed to be going to the moon, and the astronaut that's going to go says, well, we're going for the first time. Wait, I thought we went already. There's clips of Buzz saying it wasn't real. It was a animation. Like, you can find probably 5 or 6 different clips of him on big shows like Conan O'Brien and all kinds of stuff saying, no, it wasn't real. What more information do you need? But check out the environmental condition that you would have to negotiate if you were on the surface of said.
Also, one of the big things is that the temperature, which is crazy, the temperature in the light of the moon is 250 degrees Fahrenheit.
So they claim that they were able to get that heat of 250 degrees in the lunar module down to 72 degrees with air conditioning from a bank of car batteries. So this is why they destroyed the schematics, because you could prove that's not possible. Von Braun said in his book, A Voyage to the Moon, not only would it take 3 rockets that would be 32,000% bigger than the Saturn V to go to the moon, he said every 24 hours there would be a 50% chance of a catastrophic failure from micrometeorites, which are pelting the moon, tens of thousands of them every second. That you'd have to immediately go into a cave or an iron shelter to protect yourself. That never happened. So how did they land the lunar lander 6 times flawlessly with 1/600 millionth the computing power?
Also, one of the big things.
Yeah. Okay, this is just my own personal opinion. I am pretty sure that we've never been there. I'm at like a 90%, okay? 92.5 FM. Did we go to the moon? Which, for whatever reason, this is how my brain works. I go, okay, moon stuff probably not real. And then I go, you know, my great-great-grandparents thought the earth was flat because that's what they were taught. Is that, I mean, I know, I can't believe it. I'm almost 50 years old and I don't know. Yeah. Whoa. Here we go. Goodness gracious sakes alive.
Hi, here's a list of things I find.
I worried about putting this one up. Shout out to this dude and his amazing mustache. I think this is someone else is showing the original clip. I don't know if this right here is the original, but if it is, thank you, and check his channel out. He's going to say a couple words. Remember, YouTube, this is entertainment, and I'm just reacting. Okay, but his message is pretty solid. Watch this. Oh, my God.
Hi, here's a list of things I find worthy of revolution. Number 1, Congress getting over 200 days of paid time off a year, but then voting no against the American people getting paid time off. That's called hypocritical revolution. Number 2, working for a company with the name Union in it, but then that company union busts its own employees. The irony writes itself. Revolution. Number 3, not providing housing to help get the homeless off the street, instead just making homelessness illegal. Because that fixes the problem. Revolution. Number 4, baby powder companies selling baby powder knowing it had carcinogens in it so that they could make more money. Let me say that again. Baby powder companies sold baby powder meant for babies with carcinogens in it, and the only consequence was a small fine.
That's crazy.
That shouldn't be a true thing I can say out loud. Revolution. Number 5, insurance being more expensive than your mortgage, but it literally covers nothing. I'm ready for people to stop putting up with that. Revolution. This may be hard to believe, but I'm not even close to done with this list. I still have hundreds more, and I'm really curious of how long I'm going to be able to make these videos before I run out of reasons. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and continue to put your reasons for revolution in the comments. I appreciate your
Yeah.
faces. The baby powder one is diabolical. Hi.
It's the R word that he used. I'm worried that but I'm not afraid. More of us than there are of them. Let's go. It's entertainment. Entertainment. Okay, here we go. We're almost done, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging on to the end. I hope that I've shared some information for you that has triggered your brain to go, Here we go.
Listen, whatever.
This is the last one. And I just thought the darkness of all the stuff that I was sharing needed an upbeat, a lift, if you will. I absolutely love this gentleman. I have been watching him for a while. This is Big Daddy Leo. Check him out. He's all over. He's got shorts and TikToks and YouTubes. Hilarious gentleman. He's a comedian, and if you'll notice, there's horror stuff in the background of his home there. Him and his wife do all kinds of stuff, but he's hilarious. I would consider him a comedian. I don't know if he does stand-up or what, but his clips are good. I identified especially with this one because I am a Gen X. I was born in the 70s. So everything that he's about to talk about, I remember. And I want to know what happened to these theories. Watch this. Dude.
Listen, whatever happened to spontaneous combustion?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yes.
Y'all remember that? Because like back in the 80s, I was an 80s kid. I was born before the 80s. The people was just exploding.
Yep.
Like out of nowhere. Like over here, over there. Then it just stopped?
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, it was weird that people were exploding in the first place, but to just stop?
What happened?
That ain't right.
No.
What happened to that? It was a really weird time, and then people. Listen, they was asking us why we so hard. Gen X, we Gen X. That's what we are, right? Old people.
Old people.
Whatever. Old people. Listen, we grew up hard. Listen, people were exploding here, exploding there, right? There was quicksand all over the place, and at the same time, nowhere. Nowhere.
Yeah.
No quicksand. And then every morning, we went to eat cereal, milk carton, pictures of what? Missing kids. Right there in your face, missing kids. Pretty kids, nice kids. And then the minute you finish eating cereal, what does mom say? Go play outside. What? Go play outside. People exploding everywhere. There's quicksand and kids, they snatching them up. Go play outside. Now, and you had to leave the house. It was rough times. Listen.
I thought that was great. Okay, that's it, y'all. We did it. We are complete for the day. I really do appreciate you hanging out if you made it this far. The channel's growing. It's growing. It's slow, but it's steady, and I appreciate it. I keep talking about doing different themes of stuff. I'm going to have an opportunity real soon. next month actually to maybe do some of the health and fitness content. I just want to share my workouts because I really do believe that I've discovered a thing and it works. It works. You know what I mean? I'm aight for like 50-year-olds. Okay. But yeah, I want to get into that. I'll have time to do it and I'll have privacy to do it. So coming soon. I promise I'm going to get that knocked out. But yeah. Just wanted to share my love, share my knowledge, spread that around because that's how I like to do things. That's usually how I exit this. I really, I enjoy reacting to the crazy clips and whatnot. It's so fun for me. The information, the thought stimulation, but that's not all I want to do, and I'm working on it. I still don't edit my videos, so I'm going to keep that theme. And the only reason I feel that that's super important, for one, it's a little technical difficulty for me, and I don't enjoy it. And maybe I am going to work on that because, struggle matters. And that one, for me, is Struggle Bus. But I'm going to switch up. I'm going to do it. It's coming. It's coming. Hang in there. And maybe that'll, I'm going to say yes, it will make my channel amazing. I kind of love it though already. You know what I mean? But with that being said, Dick gonna dip. I'll see you on the flip. Get a good grip, take a good rip, and enjoy the universal trip. I don't know what that means. It was just, whatever. You know how I like to do it, though? I'm going to play some music, get us out of here. Spread your love, share your knowledge, because that's how you're going to take your day. Dictate the awesomeness that unfolds for you the entire way. Why am I rhyming? I think it's because I was raised on Sesame Street. I think that's what's happening. Anyway, I love you guys. Let's exit with that same song. It's Monday. Got the entire week to take. Yeah! Wins in the bag, y'all. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Awesomeness is on the way. Love you guys.